Good morning and welcome to Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Bruce Bond. He's the co-founder and CEO of Innovator Capital Management, and we're here to discuss building an ETF business. I want to thank you very much for joining us over at Nasdaq. So tell us a little bit about your background and history within the ETF industry.
Well, back in 2003, we launched PowerShares Capital Management, and from that I came out of the products business and started the business back then. And we got in actually in the area of kind of smart beta. We developed the first what were called intelligent indexes. They were called Intellidexes. And so we launched a series of ETFs, and PowerShares continued to grow. And as time progressed, we actually became the owner of the Nasdaq 100 and listed the Nasdaq, which is now the PowerShares Nasdaq 100. And so that's kind of my background. And then recently we came back into the business in order to launch some additional products that we think bring a lot of value to the marketplace.
Well, what's the real risk that's associated when you launch an ETF business?
Well, I think the real risk associated with it is having a product or products that you're working with that actually don't have a lot of traction in the public. You can't garner assets, or you don't have enough capital to be able to stay in the business long enough to be able to track the assets, or you can't get visibility. You can't have people realize what type of product you have and the value of the product. And I think those are the struggles of a lot of new companies that get into the business.
Well, despite the challenges, there's a number of innovative factors that I'm sure you've seen over the nearly past 2 decades. How has the ETF industry evolved, and what's your outlook for it going forward?
Well, the industry has definitely, there's been a huge proliferation of products. They've had I think there hasn't been a lot of new innovation, really. There's been just a lot of new products bringing out and slicing and dicing the market in a lot of different, very thin slices. They've turned over every rock. And I think that's actually great for investors. I mean, they're able to access all these different parts of the market. If they're really passionate about this or that, there's probably an ETF you can find to access that piece of the market. And I think that's what's great about it.
It's almost like ETFs are becoming the new stock picking, particularly as they become more thematic.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, people, when they invest, even individual investors, they think thematically. They think, I really like this, or I really like that, or I think that this has a great future, and I want to know, how do I best invest in that? And I think ETFs really give them a great platform to do that.
Do you think there's more growth in the industry to be had?
Yes, I do think there's a tremendous amount of growth yet to be had. I think we're probably, early in the early stages of the ETF industries overall. And I think we will start to see some innovation within the space that bring even new exposures to the market that people haven't expected.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. And traders, thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.